The bailiff says my name wrong, stretching it like he doesn't respect Eddie stand anyway. Palms are dry, that's how I know I'm ready across the aisle. My parents sit stiff and righteous, hands folded like they're praying for my downfall. My sister's chair is empty, it always is. The judge lifts the sealed folder I slid across. Moments ago he doesn't open it, yet the studies, the thickness, the weight, the years pressed inside his eyes widen just enough to be human. "Do they even know what you have?" he asks. I nod. I've waited a decade to speak. It started with a knock that wasn't really a knock, more like a thud would, absorbing impact night air, cutting through the hallway. When I opened the door, a carrier sat there, angled wrong, handle bent inside. A baby slept with the confidence of someone who still believed the world was kind. There was a note taped to the blanket, me sister's handwriting, slanted, rushed, familiar as a scar. "I need time. You're better at this than I am. Don't call mom and dad, I'll be back." I remember thinking how light the carrier felt, like responsibility hadn't landed yet, like gravity was still deciding whether to apply. I called my parents anyway, always did the wrong thing first, hoping it would turn right. They arrived in under 20 minutes, already angry, already aligned. My mother didn't touch the baby, me father didn't sit down. They looked at me like I'd orchestrated it. "She's your burden now," my mother said, voice clean and final. "Make this harder." Harder than what? Harder than choosing not to choose? I watched them leave without a backward glance. The door closed. The house exhaled. The baby opened her eyes and stared at me like I'd been there all along. That was the first betrayal. The quiet kind. The kind that assumes you'll comply. I learned early that love isn't loud, it's repetitive. It's showing up when no one is watching. It's diapers at dawn and bottles at midnight. It's memorizing the sound of a cry that means hunger versus pain versus fear. It's learning a person's needs before they have language for them. My sister didn't call not once. Weeks passed, then months, then a year. The note yellowed in a drawer, stopped checking my phone. My parents came by occasionally, bringing judgment disguised as groceries. They'd comment on the mess, the exhaustion in my eyes, the fact that I wasn't living my life. They never asked to hold her. I named her my selfie. Won't say it, her names are private, but it fit her strong, quiet tune. Assuming. I filed paperwork, found pediatricians, rearranged my career without telling anyone, learned how to be smaller so she could be bigger. At night, when she slept on my chest, I made promises I never spoke aloud. He would not disappear, would not outsource her pain, would not become them. The signs started small: an email sent to the wrong address, a Christmas card returned unopened, a friend of a friend mentioning my sister had been around last year, somewhere coastal, reinventing herself. I kept records without knowing why, screenshots to test times, receipts, not out of spite, out of instincts. Part of me knew the world liked paper more than truth. When my daughter, yes, mine, turned 5, my parents asked for pictures. When she turned 7, they asked for visits supervised on their terms. I said no, calmly, kindly, final. That's when the tone changed. They started calling her their grandchild, started telling people I'd kept her from them, started rewriting the story with the confidence of people who had never been contradicted. I didn't argue. I prepared. The lawsuit arrived on a Tuesday, thick envelope, expensive paper. The accusation was almost impressive in its audacity. Unlawful custodial interference, parental alienation, denial of familial rights. They wanted custody, or at least control. They wanted to be seen as victims. They wanted the last 10 years erased and reissued with them at the center. My sister's name was on the Falinga, ghost signing from somewhere far away. I didn't cry, didn't call them, I didn't tell my daughter anything beyond. Some adults are confused. I hired a lawyer who listened, then another who asked better questions, then a third who smiled when I slid my first folder across the table. "You've been waiting for this," she said. I nodded. Not with excitement, with acceptance. Revenge isn't loud when it's done right, it's methodical. It's knowing the rules better than the people who taught them to you. I requested record hospital intake forms, child protective services, notes from the anonymous call my parents made when they realized I wouldn't bend phone, logs, text, history of social media archives. I subpoenaed silence. I built a timeline so precise it felt surgical, absence every moment they chose comfort over responsibility. I included the night my sister left the baby thigh, no the lack of follow-up, the months of nothing, the years of selective interest. I included my own flaws, every mistake, every late bill, every exhausted decision, because truth doesn't hide, it stands. The sealed folder grew heavy. Not with anger, with proof. Back in the courtroom, the judge clears his throat. Me parents' lawyer stands too quickly. Eager, unaware, me lawyer doesn't move, she doesn't need to. I take the stand, the oath feels ceremonial. I've been telling the truth for 10 years. This is just a new room. I don't look at my parents. When I speak, I look at the judge, at the law, the idea that accountability still exists somewhere. I tell the story without ornament, without pleading, without venom. Let the facts do the damage. When I mention the note, the judge opens the folder. When I mention the years of absence, he turns pages. When I mention the lawsuit timing, how it coincided with my daughter's inheritance from my late partner, his jaw tightens. Do you have evidence of financial motivation? He asks. My lawyer slides another envelope forward. Silence lands like a verdict in progress. My parents finally look at me, then not with anger, with fear. It's unfamiliar on their faces, doesn't suit them. The judge asks questions they can't answer, about birthdays missed, about medical decisions, never requested, about why no one filed for custody sooner if they were so concerned. My sister doesn't appear, her absence is noted again. When the judge speaks, his voice is even. That's what scares them most. Custody is not a prize, he says. It's a responsibility. He denies their petition orders, supervised visitation, at my discretion, warns against future litigation, mentions sanctions. He looks at me last. You did what the law encourages and what many don't, he says. You state. Outside the courtroom, my parents try to speak. Don't stop walking. There's nothing left to say. The story has been corrected. That night, I tuck my daughter into bed. She asks if the adults are still confused. Tell her some of them always will be. She falls asleep holding my hand. I sit there longer than necessary, listening to the house breathe, the same house, same hallway, the same door, where everything changed. I think about the word burden, how easily it left my mother's mouth, how wrong it was. Some things aren't burdens. They're tests, and I passed.